Venom 3, The Last Dance. Okay, everybody already went into this movie with little to no expectations. It's all good, and those are pretty well founded. The movie is not very great. It opens up with the beginning of the last movie, where technically he gets sucked into technically the MCU, and then this movie, they boot him right out of it. They boot him right back into his own universe, and now he has to deal with the consequences of that universe, while also dealing with the fact that Null is after them. So they introduce Null, who is the King in Black. If you haven't read that comic, it's a very good comic. Obviously, I'm a big Venom fan. Check it out. Bam. Big. This is actually a cover-up tattoo. It just happened to work out. I'm also a fan. It's all good. But, yeah. And, rocking the Carnage shirt. It's all good. But the movie was not good. Everybody already knew it was not going to be good. I'd say I guess it's better than the second one, just because how bad they did and how bad they did our boy Carnage. And as much as I like Woody Harrelson, it's like, dude, you're not Carnage, man. You're just not that. It didn't work. This one, he's dealing with getting chased by the government. He's getting chased by symbiotes from Null, and because apparently when he died while he's infected, he becomes a key. He becomes what's a good way to put it? Like a MacGuffin or whatever. He happens to be the key to everything, but only when he turns into this the Venom symbiote suit. So when he turns into full-on Venom, like he can use the tendrils, he can use the face, he can do all the little things in between. But when he goes full-on Venom, it's like a beacon to all these things. It's almost like what's a good like the one ring from like Lord of the Rings, when Frodo puts on the ring, and then all of a sudden all the ring wraiths are like, rah, and they come running at him. That's what they did in this. They basically straight up hijacked that shit, and that's it. That's about it. And then they go on the mission. Their mission is originally to get to New York because Venom wants to see the Statue of Liberty, but through all their trekkingness across everything, they just end up in basically Area 51, which they relabeled Area 55. Maybe copyright, I have no idea. Just to be like, no, we're actually more secret than that. You're not, and nobody cares. And then they throw out a bunch of the stuff, like, I'm not saying they throw it out. I'm more saying they throw out the ideas that they had in the first couple of movies, like symbiotes it takes a minute for somebody to attach to these humans, to attach to this, whatever. They just throw that out the window, and there's a bunch of symbiotes there who are willing to battle against Null's forces to stop that from happening, because even though these symbiotes, they're probably all bad. Like, you get Phage, you get Toxin. There's a couple other ones from, like, the comics, if you're up to date with some of the newer ones. Those are the two that really stood out to me. It was like Phage and Toxin. I was like, oh, okay, I'm in, whatever. I don't actually really care for them, but whatever. They're there. That's who some of them are. There's a bunch of other ones, like, I don't know, just name a Toxicity, and that's one of the Venom characters. There you go. And, they go on from there just barely, because it's a culmination at the end where they all do like a giant CGI fight, and like it's like they almost take stuff from like Michael Bay, where they had the Devastator just like shredding stuff. So they have one of the creatures who just like shreds the symbiotes, and yeah, it's really not great. The one thing I'll give it a little bit of credit for is the banter in between Eddie Brock and Venom isn't as bad as it was in the last two movies. Like, there's still a little bit there, and there's still stupid little scenes. It wasn't as nerve-wracking, like, not nerve-wracking, like, it didn't grate on my nerves as much. Like, when I watched the first couple of movies, I was like, oh my god, like, I almost wanted to leave. I'm like, these characters, they have really bad banter. They're annoying to listen to the whole time. It's not like a funny buddy cop movie type of thing. Even though that seems like kind of what they're going for, but with a little bit more of a, I don't know, end of the world vibe going on sometimes, or a sinister thing going on because Venom's brutal, or he should be, and I mean, he'll just casually eat people's heads, and it's just like, well, this is just life now, and they just go on with it. This movie plays with that a little bit, and it's not funny. It's not great. I mean, at least the stuff when they do some of the things with these characters, when there's like big standout shots of these characters, you get to see them in like their full their full, let's say, Venom persona, or phage or toxin or whatever. And I mean, those at least look good, but once all the battles start, it just becomes like a sludge fest. It's just like, I almost don't want to do the mimicry of it because it's the kind of shit that gets you kicked off the internet. But it's like, dude, nobody wanted this, and the only thing that's semi decent about it, or it's not even that it's decent about it, is that it allows for Noel to come into the next thing. And I personally like Noel. I know some people are probably indifferent. And the way to introduce him like this is probably pretty weak. It's actually very weak. But if you can look past that, maybe the next thing could be okay. Because when they actually do the Spider-Man stuff, because that's what he seems like he's going to join, is the Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 4. Spider-Man tends to be relatively okay, really like decent to good to sometimes like just a fun movie overall. This one I was hoping to be a lot more fun. I didn't feel it was that fun. I don't think it's worth watching in theater. There's nothing crazy about it. Oh, and this is the other thing that happened with, it happened to be AMC, because that's the thing that I have my movie ticket through, is this is the second movie this year that I booked a regular ticket. It was just IMAX, no 3D, and we walked up, and me and my friend, they were just like, oh, yeah, here's your glasses, and we were like, what the hell is this about? So I had to watch it in 3D, which I do not like 3D movies. They kind of give me a headache. That also didn't help. I don't know if that's going to make that big of a difference to people, but I saw it in 3D. There was a couple of scenes that actually probably were kind of cool in 3D, but it's not worth paying for it in 3D. I just have the movie pass, so it's not that big of a deal. Overall, unless you really like the first two movies for some reason, and you're just like, you just need to have the completion of it, go ahead and go watch in the theaters. It's something to do this weekend. I personally would not recommend this movie. I didn't think it was great at all. And the way that a lot of these movies are going, you could probably get in like 2 to 3 weeks. No, probably 3 to 4 weeks, maybe a month. Let's say 3 weeks to a month, and then it'll be on streaming. And then by then we'll have Craven, because everyone's looking forward to that. No, they're not. But you'll have something else to look forward to. Anyways, I would say overall the movie was very meh, if not extremely bad. Like, there was a lot of really bad stuff in it, and I knew it was going to be bad to begin with, so my expectations were already low, so it's hard to talk lower than where my expectations were, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. I wouldn't recommend seeing it in theater, but if you like the first two and you got nothing to do, maybe you'd have a good time. I don't know. It was kind of cool to see Noel for, the best way I could put it is like, maybe there's a full minute worth of Noel if you combine all the stuff, but you don't see him do anything. It's implied that he's going to become the next big bad in something else. But when it's the third movie in this franchise, it's like, is he though? Is he really a part of Spider-Man? I don't know. That was the only thing that was interesting to me. Other than that, the ending fight scene was all right. It was fine, but it's kind of like a CGI sludge fest. So I don't know. If you're into that, maybe you'll like this. I'm not a huge fan. Anyways, if you like it, go check it out. I don't recommend it, but thank you for checking out this video. Anyways, you guys have a good one. Peace out.